to the cloud.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Power and Safety of Liposomal Essential Oil Formulas. So we are actually re-recording this webinar. Zoom had a bit of a glitch the other day when we did our live webinar, so we wanted to have a chance to re-record it for you all so you could still have access to this information ongoing. So we'll go ahead and get started again with things. So the liposomal essential oil formulas, some of you all may know a lot about it already. You might actually be taking one already, currently using it, or you have no clue, but I'm excited for you guys to learn from these ladies today and to hear some more of their knowledge on it. Teresa, if you want to go to the next slide for me. So before we get started, just a small disclaimer with this, that this is not intended to serve as medical advice. So you see your medical doctor to treat or cure your medical condition. At Foundations Wellness Coaching, we help you use natural interventions to help your body heal itself. But again, this is not intended to serve as your medical advice. So as we're jumping into things here today, I want to first introduce you to the ladies that you will be hearing from. We have Teresa Hazelmeyer, Jen Losi, and Lisa Schumacher. And all of these ladies are highly experienced registered nurses. And after having their experience in that more clinical setting, have then gone on to receive certification from the Uprooting Lyme Clinic in New York. And they've taken their knowledge and are now going from a more holistic approach to things and really have a lot of experience and wisdom to offer in this area. And one of the things I said today, you'll hear a lot of their knowledge, you'll hear their information, you'll hear their hearts on things. But something that I think also really sets all these ladies apart is really their heart and compassion. They've walked the road of dealing with Lyme or chronic illness or mystery illness, either themselves or with a loved one. So when they come and they're working with you, they don't just have the knowledge in their heads, but they really have a warmth and a desire to help people find total healing in these things. So I really love that about each of them. And I'm glad that you guys get the chance to learn from them today. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and hand it over to Teresa.
Thank you so much, Justine. Jen and Lisa and I as a team are very excited that you're here with us. And we're very excited to teach you about liposomal essential oils. What are they? They are a cutting edge formula that we have started to use starting in the Lyme disease space, helping people with Lyme and co-infections. But the more we use them, the more we're seeing that they're really helping with people with autoimmune illnesses and mystery illness. And there's a reason for that. Many of the root causes behind these illnesses that I've mentioned tend to be the same. And so when you deal with a microbiome imbalance that tends to show up in any of these types of illnesses, effectively, with something like the liposomal essential oils, then you will tend to make improvements. So what you can see by the photo that it's a brown bottle with a milky liquid in it. That milky liquid is something that I'm going to get into a bit more detail a few slides down. And those liquids deliver very effectively essential oils that are just nature's most concentrated form of healing power. So why did we start making these formulas? As a group working in the Lyme disease space and seeing a lot of people with autoimmune and mystery illness, we were trained, certified, and were effectively using different herbal formulas, herbal teas, tinctures, capsules. For those with Lyme disease, we use the Booner herbs, we use Cowden protocol, the Byron White, the Biocidin, Beyond Balance, many different lines of herbal formulas. And we saw them working well, but they just the frustration remained that they were taking a long time, and that we had to do a lot of coaching around, you might get worse before you get better. If you have a Herxheimer reaction or a die-off reaction, be patient, they will work, hang in there. And they always did for most people. But obviously, we always wanted something that worked a little faster. Superbugs are something I kind of want to interject here briefly. Superbugs, by their very definition, are bacteria, parasites, or fungi that have evolved into something that resists the antibiotics that we currently have, the antifungals or the antiparasitics. Why does this happen? We have learned through the years that the more we present those highly concentrated extracts that we find in pharmaceutical antibiotics, antiparasitics, or antifungals, the more the bugs adapt and resist them. So the World Health Organization, the American Medical Association have been teaching us about this for decades. In fact, when I was a young nurse, fresh out of nursing school, working in the hospital a few years ago, we were hearing about it all the way back then. And, I think all of us know it. We know that these pharmaceuticals are going to stop working someday. And even now, they're not nearly as effective as they were when they first came out because of these resistant superbugs that keep forming. Thus, we had a need not just to help people with Lyme disease, autoimmune, and mystery illness recover faster, but we really needed something that was going to be very effective against these superbugs, because it's just not okay that nothing was working well. So some of the main challenges when it comes to superbugs include Lyme Borrelia. There's several forms of that. There's Borrelia burgdorferi and many different strains of Borrelia. There's also tick-borne relapsing fever Borrelia that we worked with. There's Bartonella, which some of you might be familiar with, can be a very tough co-infection of Lyme, and Babesia, which can be equally as difficult. So when you're dealing with superbugs like Borrelia, tick-borne relapsing Borrelia, Bartonella, and Babesia, you really want to bring your top guns to the battle because they can be very, very challenging. Other bugs that we have been dealing with that we really were looking for effective solutions for were autoimmune diseases. Certain bacteria are being linked more and more in the research to rheumatoid arthritis, Sjogren's disease, MS, many different autoimmune conditions, Enterococcus being one, Proteus being another. There are so many scientific papers behind this. I can't present them all to you, but the research is really evolving. And we're seeing that in these autoimmune diseases that very, very often there is a superbug playing in that hasn't been detected or dealt with appropriately. Many people realize that they have parasites or yeast overgrowth, and that is a result of the toxic world that we live in. We are all taking in pesticides and herbicides, PFAS, those forever chemicals from the Teflon skillets, and plastics, phthalates. The list goes on and on of the man-made chemicals that we have been exposed to in the last several decades that are also playing into the development of these superbugs that we need better answers for. Something that many of you might be familiar with are resistant strep, staph, MRSA, or C. diff. These are infections that initially we were seeing in hospitals only 30 years ago, but many of these superbugs have moved out into the community and are affecting even our children. And so we need something to deal with resistant strep, because if the child or the adult has already taken 5 rounds of antibiotics and it's not getting taken care of, then we can assume that we're dealing with a highly resistant form of strep or staph, or Clostridia, which is the main bug in C. diff. So these were things that many of us in the medical world and in the integrative space and in natural medicine were aware of, that we needed better answers for. There are undiscovered bugs. What do I mean by that? When you have so many people taking so many pharmaceuticals and having these bugs adapt their genetics, not just to the pharmaceuticals, but to pesticides and herbicides, we realize that we have superbugs that haven't even been discovered by a lab test yet. So when people come to us with a lot of mystery illness, autoimmunity, issues that aren't responding well to their antibiotics or to their other pharmaceuticals, we knew we needed something that could address them effectively. We were all very excited as a group when Dr. Ying Zhang from Johns Hopkins University conducted a 7-year study on Lyme persisters. Lyme persisters are forms of Borrelia spirochetes, the main bug behind Lyme disease, and they just don't respond to the antibiotics anymore. They were causing people to have extended and very difficult cases of Lyme disease that were not responding even to their IV antibiotics. So Dr. Ying Zhang took this on, thankfully so. He really cared. And he decided to study essential oils to see if they could outperform the antibiotics. What that study revealed was that garlic, oregano, clove, thyme, litsea, myrrh, frankincense, citronella, tea tree, many different commonly used essential oils, the essential part of a plant, the most concentrated form of plant medicine, were killing these Lyme persisters better than the top 3 antibiotics combined. No, not only that, they were keeping those bugs from coming back, which was the main problem that many Lyme literates and forward-thinking physicians were dealing with in the 20, 30 years of dealing with Lyme disease, where we had so many issues. If you look into the PubMed research on superbugs of all types, highly evolved Aspergillus, highly evolved Candida, highly evolved parasites, highly evolved forms of Babesia and Bartonella and Lyme disease, you will see that there are many research articles on essential oils that deal with these bugs better than the pharmaceuticals. And at the bottom of that page there, that study is listed if you want to reference that for yourself. As a group, we attended a conference in 2018 where Dr. Zhang spoke and he revealed this research study. There were thousands of physicians in the room along with us, holistic natural practitioners. And we all clapped, we're very excited about this research, but we all wondered, where's this going to go? Because you can't patent essential oils. You can't patent these things. And so the FDA is never going to approve it. So we don't know who's going to use it. Fortunately, Greg Lee out on the East Coast, a prominent alternative, integrative, holistic Lyme practitioner, started spinning these oils from the study into liposomes and seeing in his patients much better results than just using many of those other herbal formulas alone that we had used previously. I'm going to talk more about liposomes. What are they? I put a little photo of what they look like there. Liposomes are made up of phosphatidylcholine. Some of you are going to be familiar with that. Phosphatidylcholine is a compound made up of phospholipids. Phospholipids are little tiny fat molecules that make up the cell membrane. And so many integrative and functional doctors use phosphatidylcholine and phospholipids to help people heal their gut, because phosphatidylcholine is seen by the cells of your body as food, because it's a part of the cell membrane. When that phospholipid or that liposome, that conglomeration of those phospholipids, is introduced to your cells, they will take it in, they'll just suck it right in because they see it as food. Because of that, what we've seen is that we can get those tiny fractions of essential oils deeper into the body, because we can get it past the stomach acids, past the enzymes, into the joints, across the blood-brain barrier, into the collagen, into the gut, much more effectively than the herbs by themselves were getting in. Pharma knows this too. So they have been studying liposomes and working on a synthetic version that they can patent, because they know and are doing it already with certain medications, that they can deliver tiny fractions of these medications into people's body to get better results with less side effects. That is the magic, so to speak, of liposomes. Liposomes are able to deliver a very, very tiny and safe amount of essential oil, herb, or medication into the body very effectively with almost no side effects. I want to give a quick shout out before I finish here to Stephen Booner. Stephen Booner is a master herbalist who taught many of us, Jen and Lisa and I, and many of our colleagues who work in this space, how nature fights nature best. He's a master herbalist who really did groundbreaking work in the Lyme disease space. And he taught so many of us about how the herbs will get these superbugs without creating resistance. Why is that? Because a pharmaceutical compound has one very concentrated extract from a plant. That is what makes it work so quickly. However, when the bacteria or the parasite or the fungi see that highly concentrated extract, it will change its genetics. It's called lateral gene transfer. It will change its genetics to resist. And this is why pharma is struggling to continually create more antibiotics, because every time they create one, the bugs resist. They will create resistant organisms. Stephen Herod Booner taught us that the plants create more than that one single extract. You might have anywhere from 8 to 10 compounds up to 30 compounds in that one plant. So when you put multiple essential oils in a blend like we do, you might have 10 different very safe, natural medicinal compounds in each one. So you might have 30 to 100 in one blend. And those bugs are never going to create any form of resistance. In fact, they just can't resist. That's why they are responding so well to the liposomal essential oils. And I will go into a little more detail about the results that we're seeing, but I'm going to turn it over to Lisa at this point, and she's going to talk to us more about the safety of them.
Thanks, Teresa. Hey, everybody. We get questions once in a while from our clients, and they ask us if it is safe to use the essential oils orally. And for us as practitioners, safety is just right up there with everything that we do. So in order to be safe with them, we use the best research available. Well, Robert Tisserand and Rodney Young compiled all of the research that they found on essential oils and used those studies to make recommendations for what is safe to use in a day. And they compiled all this in what we consider the Bible of essential oil safety. So we use their guidelines in creating each custom blend so that there are no risk of side effects for our clients. We also get the question, do the essential oils kill the good bacteria? Well, as Teresa was describing, antibiotics are made to do one thing, and that is to kill. But essential oils have an innate intelligence, and they're able to go into the body, and they can differentiate what is beneficial to the body and what is pathogenic or non-beneficial to the body. So the essential oils, rather than going in and just having a killing spree, they go in and they support what is good. So the good bacteria, viruses, yeasts and molds, and things like that. And then they kill or reduce the things that are not beneficial to the body. And because of that, we don't see the side effects that somebody might have if they're taking an antibiotic, where it's obvious that the things that were beneficial to the body have been killed. So now let's see what we need to do for the body. But the essential oils really support what is happening in the body. Dozens of practitioners use the essential oil formulas, and them, like us, we have a lot of good results with that. So let's see that next slide.
Hey, Lisa, I think you lost your connection.
Teresa, would you like me to go ahead and jump on there?
Yes.
And, jump over to the, we can
Yeah.
talk a
Yeah,
little
let's
bit
go.
about.
Let's go to Jen's for now.
All right. Let's see. Here we are. Okay, hi everybody. So I'll go ahead and take over for a few minutes here, and we'll talk about some items of discussion that are a little bit lighter. First off, the taste. A lot of times our clients see the bottles, they can see a milky substance is in the bottle, and they say, oh, how does that taste? So a lot of our clients enjoy the taste. Some people don't. But for those who don't, there's many options to mask the taste. Most commonly, what we do is recommend our clients chase their dose of liposomal essential oil with things like a nut butter. So just take a scoop of a nut butter, or sunflower butter, right after your dose of liposomal essential oil, and it just cuts that taste right out of your mouth right away. Other things you could try are things like hummus or pesto, really any sort of product that is a fatty substance cuts that taste from your mouth, and makes it so that it's less pleasant. What some of our clients do also is mixing in a little bit of chocolate almond milk to help cut the taste. But again, there are many clients who enjoy the taste, myself being one of those. As far as cost goes, a quart of the liposomal custom essential oil blend is $80, with a pint being $45. Now, some people might say, oh, that seems like a lot of money. Actually, if you think about it, within that bottle, that one bottle, whether it's the quart or the pint of the custom liposomal essential oil, there are many different oils in that formula. If you think about it, whereas if you take a supplement, usually one supplement goes after one bug or one type of virus or one type of bacteria. Whereas your custom liposomal essential oil blend will go after many different bugs, bacteria, or viral strands, just to name a few. So really, if you look at it that way, it seems much more realistic, and actually it is smarter in the longer run. Like I said, you don't have to purchase many different supplements, and you don't have to swallow many different supplements. Just the typical dose of the liposomal essential oil is 2 tablespoons twice a day. The storage and usage. So the liposomal essential oil formula, we recommend it being stored in the refrigerator. It can be out of the refrigerator for up to a week at a time. But if it's stored in the refrigerator, the oils just stay more potent and they last longer. We recommend that you can use 1 bottle for up to 6 months, but some of our clients have taken it use their same bottle for up to a year and have had just as good results compared to the less amount of time. As far as travel, you can either pick up your formula after we make it. We do ask for 48 hours to make your custom liposomal essential oil blend. It can either be picked up from our office or we can ship it to you. So if you're going to travel, it packs very well in the original shipping box with bubble wrap that we provide. And you can just go ahead and stick that in your checked baggage. And if you are someone who picked it up in person from us, you can just contact us, call the office and ask for a shipping box with some bubble wrap. We actually have had one client who traveled to New Zealand with 3 bottles in her checked baggage, and there was no problem whatsoever. The bottles stayed completely intact. So we can go ahead and move on to the next slide here. Okay, so being a certified pediatric nurse, we often get the question, do they work for kids? So being a certified pediatric nurse, yes, they absolutely do. And one of the first things, and I know Lisa spoke to this also, one of the first things at the top of my mind is, well, are they safe? Yes, indeed, they are safe. And we're seeing great results with the kiddos from the custom liposomal essential oil formula. Again, one of probably the biggest struggle is with the taste, but parents have found many ways. And again, we can give you many suggestions for how to mask that taste with kiddos. So some of the clients, the kiddos that we see, actually all of them typically have a diagnosis from their medical doctor, and they are just looking for some coaching and some wellness around their already diagnosed medical condition, and or the parents come to us looking for more holistic or natural approaches to managing their child's symptoms. So that's what we're here for, to help your family, to help your kiddo sort of manage whatever it is they may be going through, and develop a wellness plan to help get on top of some of these bugs that are causing at the root cause of some of these conditions that these children are already diagnosed with by their medical doctor. So in things like PANS and PANDAS and Lyme disease, we have seen the formulas work better and faster with less die-off than many other Lyme formulas for kids. For gut and brain inflammation, that's when we typically see anxiety. So the immune system is housed in the gut. And when our gut microbiome or our gut bacteria is out of balance, meaning that there could be too many bad bacteria versus good bacteria in the gut. There could be many things that affect that specifically. But when that happens, our gut is inflamed. When our gut is inflamed, that can cause gut symptoms, but it also can cause brain symptoms or brain inflammation, neurological symptoms, anxiety specifically, or many other mental health symptoms. And the reason that happens is because the gut and brain are connected via the vagus nerve. So back to that gut microbiome. If the gut microbiome is imbalanced, we've got gut inflammation. We've got gut inflammation, the vagus nerve starts firing up in the gut. When the vagus nerve is fired up in the gut, the vagus nerve fires up in the brain and causes brain inflammation and all of the brain symptoms. So anxiety is one of the things that we see in kiddos a lot in here. Families come to us looking for natural healing and alternative methods to really helping get their child's anxiety under control, but just helping them have a better quality of life. So we work very closely with them developing wellness plan. That involves the custom liposomal essential oil formulas. And we see great success with that. Some other common things that we see here at Foundations Wellness in kiddos, skin and eczema issues. Again, that can come from GI symptoms and or parasites. So we will develop a custom liposomal essential oil formula that gets on top of those things. Sometimes it helps faster than others, but really the families and the kids who consistently take it, we see them get nothing but better from it. Also, viral illnesses happen all the time in kiddos. Things such as COVID, or even the common cold. We do have a viral support formula that's available. Justine will talk more about that in just a bit. But you could call us up and ask for one of our our viral support formula to help your child get after the bugs that are causing things like COVID and your common cold. But as well as the viral support formula, we can develop a custom formula for your child specific to viruses. Again, we've seen great results in kiddos with the custom liposomal essential oil formulas. And yes, indeed, it is safe. I'll go ahead and give it back to Lisa.
Thanks, Jen. I'm going to jump in there and just apologize to everybody that we lost connection on one of our laptops. So I'm sorry that we're going to be rewinding the slides here, but I'm going to take you back to where Lisa was speaking and we'll get her back in here.
All right. Well, hey, everybody, one more time. All right. So I think I was talking about the essential oils and their effect on the good bacteria. What we know about antibiotics is that they just go on a killing spree. So they don't have the intelligence to know, oh, that bacteria is good for you, I'm not going to hurt it, or this one's bad for you, but it kills everything. Well, the essential oils have an innate intelligence. And so they understand in the body the things that are beneficial, and they support them, and they know what is not beneficial to the body, so they reduce them or kill them. So let's take yeast for an example, or candida. At a certain level in the body, it's beneficial, but depending on what toxins you have, the candida may overgrow very easily. And when the essential oils go in, instead of killing all of it, they will kill it, they will bring it down to a certain level back to the point where it's beneficial to the body. Because of our use of essential oils, we don't see the side effects that a client or patient would have if they were using antibiotics and then just killing all of the good and the bad. We know of dozens of practitioners like ourselves who are using the liposomal essential oil formulas with really good results for their patients and clients. All right. So the next slide is how quickly does it work? Well, as soon as you start taking the liposomal essential oil formulas, they go to work on supporting what's good in our body and bringing down or killing what is negative for our body. And how quickly symptoms begin to fade away depends on a number of things. So if you have a very high toxic burden, it may take a little bit longer to notice the effects of the formula. If you come in and your burden is a little bit lower, you might start to see effects sooner. So some clients come in and within a week or two, they start seeing symptoms fade away. And for others who have a high toxic burden, or for instance, are living with mold and have mast cell activation syndrome, it may take 2 to 3 months before they start seeing the symptoms fading away. But that's much faster than the formulas that we used in the past, like the Byron Whites, the Cowden Protocol, or the Booner Herbs. They took sometimes 2 to 3 times longer and had more die-off. So we really, really love the liposomal essential oils for how quickly people do regain their health. All right, the next slide is on herxing. So just in case you're not familiar with that, let me just describe it a little bit. It's named after Dr. Jerish and Dr. Herxheimer, who discovered this effect, and they have called it herx for short. So this is otherwise known as a die-off reaction. So when Lyme or other superbugs are killed, whether it's by a liposomal essential oil or even an antibiotic, the endotoxins are released into your bloodstream, and this causes your immune system to respond. So it responds by sending out inflammatory cytokines into the bloodstream, which cause inflammation somewhere in the body. And because the inflammation, there can be symptoms such as body aches, fatigue, headache, and these symptoms can be different from person to person. But what we find is that herxing with the liposomals is much less than what it was with the protocols that we used in the past. For clients that come in and they have a very high toxic burden, or they live in mold and have mast cell activation syndrome, they can have more herxing. So in cases like that, because we custom make these blends, we're able to make a formula that is not quite as strong, that will reduce the herxing that we might anticipate. That is another thing that we love. That's very unique with the liposomal essential oil formulas. And even with people who have a high toxic burden, we still see that the herxing is at a minimum. All right, I think I'm passing it on over to Teresa again.
Okay, thank you so much, Lisa. So as you can see, we're all very excited about using the formulas because of how well they work. And so I want to just share a few testimonials that Lisa and Jen and I and other practitioners up and down the East Coast and West Coast who are making and using these formulas are seeing. We're obviously seeing really good results for those who are dealing with Lyme disease and tick-borne relapsing Borrelia, those who are dealing with really tough and resistant cases of Bartonella or Babesia co-infections. Many of the co-infections all of them respond to the liposomal essential oil blends. When you put essential oils of garlic, oregano, thyme, and clove, I mean, it matches up with all the research, all the studies, why we're seeing such good results. Opportunistic infections like parasites or yeast that really are present in all of our bodies, and they just take advantage of the inflammation. They too are responding very well to the formulas. It's been so exciting to us to see that people with autoimmune illnesses of all sorts, I mean, these lists of diagnoses are growing by the month, it seems. And we have seen many of those in here. They are responding just as well to the formulas. And we believe that's because these people are also dealing with these superbugs that maybe just have not been identified. Things like SIBO, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, resistant cases of strep and staph, C. diff infections, parasite and yeast overgrowths, those things that are taking advantage of all the inflammation going on in someone's body, viral illnesses, Epstein-Barr, herpes family viruses, COVID, mystery illnesses of all types. We're seeing good success. And, nothing is a cure-all, of course, but when you put these very highly safe and effective formulas in combination with diet changes, with detoxification protocols that work very well, we just see many chronic conditions turn around. We have seen a lot of long haul or post-COVID syndromes or post-vaccine issues in our office. And again, these poor people who have just not gotten answers with any of their doctors, or they've just been told, we don't know why this is happening, and you just have to wait for it to go away. These same individuals are finding when they combine the liposomal essential oil with the other aspects of the wellness plans that we educate them around, they are getting their lives back. And so it's very exciting for us as coaches, as nurses, as holistic practitioners to be able to offer not only these formulas, but very holistic wellness plans that address all of the various root causes behind people's mysterious symptoms. People who come to us with so much nausea, daily vomiting, liver and gallbladder infections, we find that the formulas are helping these poor people who have suffered so greatly without any answers from anyone else. Those with mast cell activation syndrome and many, many, many allergies to all types of foods and supplements and fragrances. When we work with them and we help them put a plan in place that lowers their toxic burden, and then we combine it with these highly safe, highly effective formulas, we see them making progress where they hadn't been able to make progress before. People with leaky gut, anxiety and mood disorders as a result of that leaky gut, like Jen explained, that gut-brain connection, those people are finding that these symptoms will just go away in time when we have addressed these superbugs, these microbiome imbalances, and these toxic things in their body. People with chronic inflammation and pain that have been unexplained, that we see them getting good results. People with neuropathies that haven't responded to all of their medications, people with headaches and migraines that it's been very difficult for them to even function at all. People with tinnitus, people with visual disturbances, and they don't feel like there's really any answer for them. We have seen many of those individuals get relief of their symptoms when their body heals itself using these amazing herbal blends and the detoxification protocols. Jen sort of introduced the concept of the vagus nerve issues, the part of the brain, that fight or flight center in your brain that creates a lot of the symptoms coming from the brain. Things like poor sleep and fatigue, heart palpitations, POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, dizziness issues, air hunger, and psychiatric symptoms. When someone has already been to many doctors and tried many different diet changes and medications and really have not gotten good answers, we have consistently seen that when they add in the liposomal essential oil blends, maybe other herbs too, and the detoxification protocols, that they just start to finally heal. I have a page here at the end with some of the scientific studies and references that we quoted. They are far more abundant than what I see here, but these are some. So thank you so much for attending. I'm going to turn it back over to Justine at this point. And let's see, Justine.
All right. Thank you, ladies. That was wonderful. I know I said this before that I think each time that I listen to y'all speak, I learn something new. So it really is a lot of really great information, and also can be maybe a little overwhelming at times because it is so much information. I know part of it just goes right over my head. But I love the way that you all broke it down, and the beauty of having the recorded webinar is that you can go back and look at the information once more. Or also, if you would like to, part of what we're talking about now is booking, and the chance that as being a participant in the webinar, you get to do a free follow-up phone call. So that is a chance for you to ask some more questions. Maybe you have some other questions lingering after today. You're maybe still on the fence about deciding whether or not this is something that you want to do for yourself. We'd love the chance to connect with you a little bit further and see if we really can partner with you on your next steps. The other thing we have is that I know that Jen mentioned we have our general viral support. That's something that I keep on hand for my family all the time. Any sort of sniffles or any sort of sign of illness, we start taking that right away, which is great to have on hand. And you're welcome to give our office a call and to purchase that today if you would like. However, if you really want to dig in deeper and do a custom formula, we would love to be able to do that for you. That is definitely even more effective, in that we get to target what specific needs your body has. In order to do that, that would mean doing an initial consultation. So the initial consultation entails a 90-minute visit, so an hour and a half with one of these lovely ladies, not a small chunk of time, but really a chance to dig in with you and to hear more about your personal health and history. We'll also do a Zyto Elite scan, which is a bioenergetic scan. It's not diagnostics, but it helps us to pull up and to kind of see what are some of those root causes, things that are really just at work in your system and keeping you from healing. So with that, we will also do a ion cleanse by AMD foot bath. So that is part of the detox process. I know Teresa mentioned, and Jen did as well, just all those different toxins and things that we experience that just sort of build up over time that can be blockers or barriers to what the liposomal oils are really wanting to do. So if we are focusing on detoxing, that helps to kind of move stuff out so that the liposomal essential oils can really get the heavy work done. So we have that, and then you would leave with a custom written wellness plan. So all that is included for the price of $295, which really is a steal when you're looking at everything that's included in there. And by attending the webinar today, typically we're booked a decent bit out, but you will get priority booking. So after this, you will get a link to do the booking yourself. Or if you would like to, you could give our office a call, 301-7406. That number is there on the screen right now. And we would be happy to do the booking for you. But we wanted to make sure, since you guys have taken the time out of your day to be with us, that you can get the chance for a priority booking for that. So all those are really awesome things that are coming up. Awesome things we have coming up. We have a gathering March 21st in person. So that is here, Cincinnati, Ohio. If you're a local person, it's called the Well Gathering. So that is a chance to hear from these ladies some more, as well as some other practitioners and holistic minded folks in the area, and a chance to gather with other people and to really zoom in and focus it on what does it mean to build a foundation of wellness for you and your family. So a great chance to connect with some other like-minded folks as well, and some fun prize giveaways. So mark your calendar for that if you are local to Cincinnati area. But for now, I'm going to turn it back over to these ladies. We did have some questions that were written to us during the webinar. So we wanted to review those questions once more, because there's some really great questions. There's a chance to dig in with you guys and just to hear, a little bit more before we wrap things up. Go ahead, ladies, you can take it away.
Hello. So we will go ahead and I will get going with a few of these questions, some very good questions. So thank you for sending them in. We have the first one is, once the liposomal has taken effect, do you need to take it ongoing? The answer is no. Once your symptoms resolve with the liposomal essential oil formula, you do not need to take it ongoing. This is only to get on top of that bacteria or viral load that's causing your symptoms. It is not something that you have to be on long term. Next question, if I am taking multiple medications for arthritis, blood pressure, etc., can I take those with this liposomal essential oil formula? And I'm going to hand that one over to you, Teresa or Lisa.
Yeah, that one, generally speaking, we can say that the liposomal essential oils are safe with anything, but we would rather see you and see which medications you're on before we gave a final answer to that question. Lisa, you want to take that next one?
I don't see the questions.
Oh, are there other things that we need to do to help the liposomal be more effective and potent?
Well, when we recommend a liposomal essential oil blend, it comes with a whole wellness plan that would include changes that you may need to make in your diet, changes that you may need to make with the water that you drink. And we may also recommend binders and other detox support that would help it work even better.
All right, and then that next one, do you have a formula that will help with arthritis? You know, arthritis is yet another autoimmune condition, and so we would put together a holistic plan to get after arthritis, but we've seen really good results with arthritis. I think that's it for the questions that we got from the other night. Thanks, Justine.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, ladies. And thank you to everyone again for taking the time out of your day to come and be with us. I hope that you found this as informative and encouraging as I did. Again, if you have any other questions or if you'd like to connect with us and get your own custom liposomal essential oil formula, we would love to make that happen. You can follow the link in your email or text message after this webinar, or you can give our office a call. We'd love to connect with you more. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.